welcome. My name is Cassandra. I'm just laughing at myself here because I'm like, Cassandra, your lighting's behind you, not in front of you. And I'm like, I'm not here for the lighting, okay? I'm here to tell you guys some pretty important things, and it doesn't matter that it's lighter out there than it is over here. It doesn't matter. What I'm about to say is why we're here, right? Okay, let's get to it. Originally, I made two videos called Letting Go and Coping Mechanisms, but I decided I'm going to combine them because it's kind of the same thing. Alright, let's get started. Let's start with coping mechanisms. What are your parents' coping mechanisms? What are your coping mechanisms? Do you find yourself experiencing something that you don't like, then deciding, I'm just gonna have a shot, or 3, or I'm gonna smoke this cigarette, or I'm just gonna smoke this joint, I'm just gonna forget about it, I'm just gonna move on, I'm just going to pretend it didn't happen, I'm just gonna stuff it down deep, deep, deep within myself and pretend that everything is fine and that we don't need to get into it. A lot of us do that, including myself. So that is actually called avoiding, avoidance. A lot of us are taught that, or we experience that in our own childhood. What we're trying to not do here is abandon ourselves. So we have healthy coping mechanisms and unhealthy coping mechanisms. What are some unhealthy coping mechanisms? I just mentioned some. Some more include running to somebody for healing, attaching your problems onto somebody else, your emotions onto somebody else, relying on somebody to get you out emotionally of where you are. Other coping mechanisms is feeling pain physically so that you don't have to feel pain emotionally. This is via self-harm. Another coping mechanism is just being so desperate that you sell your soul to the devil by saying, I don't even want to say it out loud, but something along the lines of, I will do anything to not feel this, right? Then we have healthy coping mechanisms. And this is where I'm going to talk about letting things go. Now, if you are uncomfortable with your emotions, this part of the video will be uncomfortable. If you are one, like myself, that avoided feeling emotions or didn't even know how to feel emotions, embrace emotions, process emotions, this will be uncomfortable. Please hold as I check my notes on this topic. So in order to be whole, as a whole being, we have to be connected physically and emotionally, right? A lot of us take the emotion out of the equation and, let's say, work on the physical by going to the gym for 6 hours and completely avoiding the emotional. That's why some people become addicted to their physical behaviors to avoid feeling their emotional side. What happens when we avoid, dismiss, invalidate our emotions is we abandon ourselves. As someone that experienced abandonment in my childhood, I didn't really know that that was what I was doing with myself. I was abandoning my own emotions. So what happens? We get into this cycle of we experience something, we decide we don't want to feel it, or we don't know better, and we drink, we smoke, we put it down until the next thing happens, and we do the same thing. Until we feel such a weight on us, we're so prisoned by these things that we've swept under the rug that we show up in life not how we want to. That means we lash out at people, we don't communicate effectively, we are a different version of ourselves than the version that we'd like to be. Because we're so distracted by this ball and chain that's attached to us that we're dragging along. So in this video, we're actually going to talk about how to let things go. Because this cycle is very unhealthy to us. It leads to interruptions of sleep. Like I said, it can harm relationships. And most importantly, it harms us because we're not there for ourselves. In another video, I will talk about your emotional home being within you. So, step 1 of how to let things go. Don't do any of the above mentioned unhealthy coping mechanisms. I know that's hard because it's our go-to. But trust me, in the long run, you will feel completely different. Step 2. Be there for yourself. Your own emotional home. Where do you run to? You run to yourself. You take the time, you disconnect from whatever's happening around you, you sit or you lie down with yourself, you keep your eyes open or you close them, and you have a conversation with yourself. You say, hey, what am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling anger. Where am I feeling this anger? Oh, in my chest and in my stomach. Okay, it makes sense that you're feeling angry. Let's feel it. So, step 2 is being there for yourself. 2A is asking yourself where in your body is the emotion. And actually feeling it in that area. Feel it, connect to that emotion. Connect to that tightness or that uncomfortability or that tingling. Connect to where you are feeling the emotion. You could even vibrate that emotion throughout your whole body. 2B. Validate the emotion. Okay, I'm feeling angry. Well, that makes sense. I hear you. I'm here for you. We'll work through this together. We'll sit through this together. Notice how you are becoming your own healer. You are holding the hand of your inner child through this process. Key distinction here is that you are actually an observer of your emotions and you are not dwelling in your emotions. Dwelling is when you are repetitively or circularly thinking about something and worrying. That's all in here. We're stepping out of here. We're not dwelling. We're moving to our physical body. As an observer, we are looking and feeling within our physical body where the emotion, because emotion is energy in motion, is taking place. And we let that emotion, that energy in motion, actually be in motion by connecting to it and letting it do its thing. If we feel sadness, we actually feel that sadness. We vibrate that sadness through our entire body. Because believe it or not, at the end of this process, say 2C, is feel that emotion until that emotion dissipates. Because that's what happens. It's energy in motion. You gotta experience the energy. Energy will just go through you. It'll be acknowledged, it'll be validated, and it'll leave. It's uncomfortable in the moment, but it works through you and dissipates. It disappears. And that is healing. In my opinion, that's healing. You're not avoiding, you're not running away from it, you're not passing it on to somebody else, you're not nullifying it by drugs, social or party or whatever. You're actually sitting with yourself, you're observing your emotions, you're letting your emotions run the course. You ever heard Stoicism, the obstacle is the way? This is the perfect example. It's an obstacle, it's uncomfortable, but it is the way through. It is letting go because you are experiencing it. You're letting that emotion go through you. And the last step, 2D, is loving yourself. Give yourself some love. Be like, hey, like, we did it. Like, I'm here for you. Give yourself a hug. Be like, I'm always here for you. You know, celebrate the dissipation of the emotion. I call it scrunching, where you're let that energy just like really positive energy, just like experiencing it. You know, whether it's a hug, whether it's whatever it is, acknowledge that you went through that process and that you healed and that you could start fresh. With this, the first time might be uncomfortable, second time might be uncomfortable, you might not get it right the first few times. But once you do, you realize this is the way. Simply because these things don't stack up and build and get swept under the rug to the point that you can't breathe from your existence. Letting go in this healthy manner, in this meditation with yourself, helps you move on, helps you take that rag, wring it out, and have it be fresh again. And this is a very healthy coping mechanism for all the reasons that I mentioned. And it is challenging. It is uncomfortable. You have to feel your emotions. A lot of us run away from our emotions, and that's the last thing we want to do, actually be in them. But it is healthy and what we're meant to do. But we're not taught that because a lot of us humans like to avoid or run away from these scary things. So you could do this with anger, do this with sadness, you do this with fear. We'll get into that in another video, as fear is scary within itself, and then sitting in the fear, oh boy, right? We'll talk about that in another video, but yes, you could do this process with fear too, and break down the fear. Alright, good luck, reach out if you have any questions, and have an amazing, amazing day.